Today is May 3rd, 2021. Today is a beautiful day in Minnesota. And I just wanted to quickly talk about something. I posted on my Patreon this vomit edit draft. And some people said they wanted me to explain more of what this is. So I thought I would on here. You could see the whole clip if you're a $5 plus Patreon subscriber. But I showed off how I do these really rough edits when I first film. And there's something about not nitpicking it and just cutting it together and seeing the scene play out and making sure I have everything I need. I don't pick the first take or the best take. I pick sort of the first take that fits, and then from there I can nitpick it and build on what I have. And I call this my vomit edit. The reason why I like to do the vomit edit versus really hunting for the best take or really focusing or hyper-focusing on things like color correction, I'll throw like a simple LUT on. I will just put it together and really find the simplest way to show the emotion, finding the right angle for it from that shot. And a lot of times what I'll do is I'll actually just throw in the widest shot I have and try to get it down to one take, cutting it really choppy, but making it rhythmically work and finding what's the best way that this moment plays rhythmically if it was like a play. So I'll have the establishing wide shot and I'll cut that so that it just rhythmically works. And then I'll start placing close-ups or medium shots or whatever I think the emotion needs to be. For instance, in this scene from Scumbag, I did use close-ups of the two characters because I wanted to disconnect the fact that it's a ventriloquist dummy. It's supposed to be a scene where he's actually talking with his ventriloquist dummy and sort of doing the skit that he's put together. I didn't want the audience to necessarily be reminded that these are the same character. So keeping it in two close-ups and going back and forth like a dialogue, it disconnects you from it until the end when it reminds you like, oh, this is a pathetic loser in his bunker with a ventriloquist dummy. So focusing, the way I found that worked best in these close-ups was by putting together this vomit draft. Everyone edits differently. Every editor I talk to has a very different way of finding their rhythm and a different way of finding how their scene will come together. But for me, this is the best way to actually know I have everything I need, first of all. Especially with this project, you know, acting in it, directing it, filming it all myself, I want to make sure I actually have the shit I need to make the scene work, because that's the thing I can't really go back to as easily, is making the room look the same in that moment, lighting it exactly the same, finding a way to make it work perfectly. But I do have the ability to pick up shots at any point. So even though I finished filming the scene, if I find something that I want to change, I can go downstairs and just film it and get that shot. Or if I need a quick establishing shot or some B-roll to kind of make the scene flow, or something that needs to transition or to get the transitional moment from this scene to the next done. Garbage truck. If there's something I need to get the transition from this scene to the next and I maybe don't realize it, I can just go film that. And that's one of the neat things about this fluid filmmaking style that I have with Scumbag, is I have that ability. But it also becomes a pain in the ass when I see something that I want and I have to go set up again, put on the costume, get myself into character, and do the scene. Putting together these vomit drafts of the edit really help, and it also helps, you know, I have one scene that's just one long 2-minute take. And so I didn't know if that scene was going to work. I filmed it, I acted it out, I shot it, and then I put it in, and I showed a couple of the scenes to my 8-year-old, which is funny because there's a bunch of cussing in the scene. Watched it a few times and really started to like figure out like, oh, this works. And watching it with him and watching it by myself and trying to connect it to the rest of the movie made me realize like, yeah, I like it like this. I like it as one long take versus the concept being I was going to go film pickups if it didn't work. But with this scene with the ventriloquist dummy, I really wanted to make sure that I could hit the emotions and the lines that the characters were needing to say. Challenging for me. I'm not an actor, so trying to find that performance and trying to memorize my lines can be really challenging, especially when I have to act with a ventriloquist dummy. And after cutting together this vomit draft of the edit, I felt it. It works, and I'm pretty happy with it. It isn't the best takes, it isn't perfectly timed, and it doesn't look like it's gonna look, it doesn't sound like it's gonna sound. There's a lot of choppiness to it, but the concept is there. and that's what I needed to know. So now I get to go in and do the fun of refining it, and I like that nitpicking each beat, each moment, each cut, finding what the best take is for these characters. That's what I'm going to start doing after I get a little bit more filmed. I'm very excited about this week because I'm actually going to start building these monsters and making these creatures and moving forward with this second act of the movie. My hope is this weekend to spend a whole day putting it together. And while I'm making the whole movie myself, it will be fun to like actually create these creatures with, you know, my kids around and talking with them and figuring out how the actual hand monster is going to work, which I've started putting together, but I need to actually finish it. So that's the plan for this week, is to finish that in the mornings a little bit here and there, and then maybe take Saturday morning and get it done, and then film the sequence Saturday afternoon or Sunday or something, so I can actually get to the monsters finally, because I'm very excited about the monsters. My hope is that going into Saturday, I will actually have a vomit edit of the whole first act done. It's pretty damn close, actually. I have 2 sequences that I haven't cut at all, and 2 that are too rough to even call a vomit draft yet. I need to get that vomit draft done and get all of those chunked together and sort of watch the movie for what it is at the moment. I'm excited, getting closer, moving forward, kicking some ass, hopefully. This weekend was sort of a bust. I didn't get that much done because I hung out with Keith Saturday all day. And then as you saw yesterday, I was hungover. So thank you everyone who gave me well wishes on my hangover. I beat it. And we watched some movies last night with the family, and I painted and got some other art done. Here goes the garbage truck again. All right, cheers. Don't let your meatloaf. Hands in. Let's do this thing.